Okay, stop scrolling, real quick. While everybody's been glued to Washington, waiting, arguing, refreshing the news every 5 minutes, Japan just did it. Quietly. No drama, no press circus. The third largest economy on the entire planet just reclassified XRP as a real, legal financial asset. Done. Signed. On the books. And here's the part that gets me. For years now, Japan's been quietly building a house for XRP. The partners, the rails, the licenses, brick by brick by brick, while nobody was really watching. And this week, they walked inside that house and flipped on the electricity. Now everybody online is screaming XRP to the moon. So I actually went and read what the law says, the real text, and listen, it's huge, it really is, but it's also not what half these channels are telling you. So give me the next 14 minutes, and I'll show you exactly what Japan did, what it means for XRP, and the honest part nobody wants to say, what it doesn't mean yet. Let's go. Real quick, from me to you. I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice. It's just my honest read on some genuinely big news, shared with people I actually care about. Never risk what you can't afford to lose. Always do your own research. I'm here to help you think clearly, not to sell you a dream. Cool? Alright, let's dive in. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Crypto with BHW, where we tell it to you straight, with heart. Grab your coffee, get comfy, because what happened in Tokyo this week is one of those quiet moments that history books circle later. And we're gonna break it all down. Alright, let me back up and explain what actually happened, because the headlines are throwing big words around and half of them aren't landing right. On July 15th, Japan's upper house of parliament, the House of Councillors, passed a big amendment to something called the Financial Instruments and Exchange Act. Fancy name. Here's what it means in human words. Japan took crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, around 105 different assets, and it moved them, legally, out of one box into another. What box were they in before? For years, crypto in Japan lived under the Payment Services Act. Basically, the law treated it like a payment tool, a way to move money. That's it. A little gray, a little toy in the corner. And what box is it in now? The same one as stocks and bonds, real financial instruments, regulated, recognized, legitimate. Think about the psychology of that for a second. Overnight, on paper, XRP in Japan went from speculative thing we tolerate to financial asset we protect. Same legal shelf as a share of Apple. And listen, this wasn't some rushed, sloppy thing either. This bill cleared the lower house back in June. It got cabinet approval all the way back in April. This was methodical, deliberate. Japan doesn't do things loud. They do them thoroughly. And when a country that careful decides crypto belongs next to stocks and bonds, that's not noise. That's a statement to the whole world. But hold on. Before you go refresh your portfolio expecting fireworks, we got to talk about the fine print. Because there's a catch in the timing that almost nobody's mentioning, and I'd be lying to you if I skipped it. Okay, this is the part where I'm going to be straight with you, even though it's not the fun part. Because you deserve the truth, not just the hype. Yes, the law passed. That's real. That's confirmed. But here's the thing everyone's glossing over. Almost none of it kicks in right now. The core framework, it's expected to fully take effect around 2027. Not tomorrow, not next week, 2027. And that tax cut everyone's celebrating, oh, it's beautiful. Japan's planning to slash the tax on crypto gains from as high as 55% down to a flat 20%. 55 to 20. That's massive for Japanese holders. But, and write this down, that doesn't start until January 2028. So if you're a trader in Tokyo dreaming about that lower tax bill, you're waiting a bit. Same with the ETFs. This law clears the path for spot crypto ETFs on the Tokyo Stock Exchange. And that's genuinely big, because that's how institutional money flows in. But no ETF's been approved yet. The targets people are floating are 2027, 2028. Big firms like Nomura, like SBI, they're already prepping products. So why am I still smiling? Why is this still bullish? Here's why. Because none of that changes the direction. What just happened is the foundation getting locked in. The insider trading bans, the disclosure rules, the tougher penalties, that's the scaffolding institutions need before they'll commit real money. Japan just built the on-ramp. The cars haven't driven up it yet, but the on-ramp is poured and it's pointing straight at assets like XRP. The people who understand that today are thinking very differently than the people chasing a green candle. Now, here's where it gets really juicy for us specifically. Because out of every crypto asset on Earth, there's a reason this Japanese move hits XRP harder than almost any other coin. Let me show you why. Okay, this is the part I really want you to get, because this is where XRP separates from the pack. Remember what I said in the hook? Japan spent years building a house for XRP. I wasn't being poetic. I meant it literally. Let me show you the rooms. Room 1, SBI. Now, SBI is a Japanese financial giant, and they've had one of the deepest partnerships with Ripple anywhere in the world, going back roughly a decade. That's not a fling, that's a marriage. Through SBI Ripple Asia, they've built regulated infrastructure right there on the ground in Japan. Room 2, RLUSD, Ripple stablecoin. It's already live in Japan, approved through the Financial Services Agency, distributed through SBI's VC Trade platform, approved, available, regulated, right now. Room 3, the payment rails. SBI Remit, one of Japan's biggest money transfer operators, has been an anchor for Ripple's on-demand liquidity for years. Real corridors. Japan to the Philippines, Japan to Vietnam, Japan to Thailand, converting yen through XRP and out the other side. Documented, live, moving real money for real people. And look at the bank list that touches this world. MUFG, Mizuho, Santander, UBS, some of the biggest names in global finance, all circling the same rails. So here's the point. Most coins got reclassified this week and got a legal upgrade. Cool, congrats. But XRP? XRP got a legal upgrade in a country where the entire house was already built around it. The plumbing was already in. Japan just made it all official. That's why this one's different. That's why XRP holders should be paying attention while everyone else scrolls past. Quick question before we keep rolling. Did you know XRP is one of over 100 crypto assets Japan just reclassified? A lot of people have no idea it made the list. Type yes or no in the comments. I really want to see. So that's Japan, one country. But here's the thing that gives me chills. Japan isn't moving alone. Zoom out with me for a second, because there's a bigger picture forming. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. All right, step back with me. Way back. Look at the whole map. Because what's happening isn't just a Japan story, it's a race. And 3 of the biggest players on Earth are all sprinting the same direction at the same time. Over in Europe, they've already got MiCA, their crypto rulebook, up and running, and they're refining it. Over in America, the Clarity Act, the big market structure bill, is sitting on the Senate floor right now, fighting to pass before the August recess. And now Japan just leapfrogged into the conversation with full securities-grade treatment. 3 regions, 1 direction, all formalizing crypto at basically the same moment in history. You know what that's called? Regulatory competition, in real time. Nobody wants to be the country that got left behind. And every single time one of these giants formalizes crypto, it makes the assets with real-world rails, assets built for actual settlement like XRP, more investable, more legitimate, harder to ignore. And here's the cherry on top. Right here in the US, the DTCC, that's the massive Wall Street clearinghouse that settles trillions in traditional securities, is rolling out a tokenization service this year. Pilot phase started, full launch targeted for October. And guess who's in the working group building it? Ripple Prime, sitting right there at the table with BlackRock, JP Morgan, Goldman. So while Japan legitimizes the asset, The old guard of Wall Street is quietly building the tokenized future, and Ripple's got a chair in the room. Connect those dots. That's not a coincidence, that's a direction. So let's bring it all the way home, and let's do it the honest way. The real scorecard, not a fairy tale. What does all of this actually mean for you, holding XRP, watching this right now? Alright, let me give it to you straight, the way I tell a friend across the table. Here's the honest read. What Japan did is a foundational win. Not a fireworks tonight win, a foundational one. And honestly, those are the ones that matter more. Fireworks fade by morning, foundations hold up everything you build after. XRP just got recognized as a legitimate financial asset in one of the most important economies on Earth, in a country where the infrastructure was already wrapped around it. That doesn't unhappen, that's permanent. Now the honest other side, because I love you too much to skip it. The big exciting stuff, the low taxes, the ETFs, the full framework, that's on a 2027-2028 timeline. So anybody promising you XRP explodes because of this news by Friday, be careful. That's not how foundations work. This is a slow, powerful tide, not a single wave. So what do you actually do with it? Simple. You zoom out. You stop staring at the 4-hour chart and you look at the trajectory. Japan, Europe, America, all moving the same way. Wall Street tokenizing, Ripple in the room, XRP getting legitimized region by region. You get educated, which hey, if you're still here, you already are. And you make calm decisions you can actually sleep on. Because the people who win this game aren't the loudest in the comments. They're the ones who saw the foundation getting poured and understood what it meant before everyone else did. And zoom out one more time. Just a couple years ago, people were asking if XRP would even survive. Now, it's a recognized financial asset in Japan, it's in the Clarity conversation in America, and Ripple sitting at the table with Wall Street's biggest names. That arc only points one direction over the long run. The pain doesn't last forever. It never does. It never does. So here's where I'll leave you, fam. Japan flipped the switch, the house is lit, and the whole world is quietly moving the same direction, whether the headlines catch it or not. Whatever these next few months bring, green or red, we walk through it together. Clear eyes, steady hands, because that's what we do here. If this gave you some clarity, do me a favor. Drop your honest thoughts down below. I read every single one. This has been Crypto with BHW, where we tell it straight with heart. Stay ready, stay hopeful, and I'll catch you in the next one.